if Donald Trump's re-election has taught us anything, it's that being patriotic and loving your country is back in fashion. It's not racist to be proud of the country you live in. You're certainly not a bigot because you have national pride. You're not rude because you want to live under one flag only, the national flag. And Donald Trump is America first, and that patriotism should never have gone out of fashion in the first place, and it should never have taken the re-election of Trump to get back to that point. But the progressive left, fuelled by a false guilt, have weaved the narrative of self-loathing. And it's really got me thinking about where we are at in Australia, who we are and who we want to be. Now, of course, Sunday marks Australia, the birth of modern Australia, yet the most contentious day on the calendar. It's the same argument year in, year out. There is certainly a glimmer of hope that Australia First and Australia Day is on the up, because Aussies have strongly backed January 26 as the National Day, according to a Resolve poll in 9 newspapers. Support for the date has leapt from 47 to 61% over the past 2 years. 52% of voters back the idea of passing a federal law to make January 26 the official day, a key proposal, of course, from the opposition leader before the federal election. And Peter Dutton today laid it all on the line.
Our country needs to re-establish our sense of pride. We don't have the patriotism of the United States, but we need to be prouder of who we are. We've got university lecturers and some teachers who are telling children they should be ashamed of their history and who we are as a country. It's nonsense, complete nonsense. Parents have had enough of it. They want their children to be educated, not indoctrinated. And like all of us, they want a country where we can celebrate the wonderful achievements that we have.
And absolutely, he's right. We need to establish a sense of pride. But I don't think we are at an Australia First stage like Trump's America. I think we are a long way off. In fact, I believe this Australia Day has an even worse undertone to it. That's one of hate. Our values have been tested more than ever before in the last 15 months, and we don't have a leader like Donald Trump to put an end to the madness. The fibres that make this country great are being whittled down by those who hate us and hate Australia. Anti-Australia Day protesters and pro-Palestine protesters have one thing in common. They hate the West, and that's why they seem to converge together every weekend. The yearly change the date debate has never really been about changing the date, because no date change will make a difference. And as a result, this is the country we've come to know.
This is a war!
We're certainly a country divided, and that division is embedded in this Australia Day. In fact, Queensland's University of Technology is marking the National Day by holding an anti-racism conference for Invasion Day. It's invited anti-Israel activists, including academic Randa Abdel Fattah, who's called for the end of Israel and the abolishment of the death cult of Zionism, to be keynote speakers. Others include Lydia Thorpe and author Sarah Saleh, who resigned from the Australian Human Rights Commission as a policy officer after posting on social media calling for the abolition of Israel. Now, QUT Corumba Institute Executive Director Chelsea Watergo said while anti-Indigenous racism, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism and anti-blackness have unique expressions, they are deeply interconnected, making comprehensive and adaptable anti-racist research and strategies essential. So what exactly is their Australia Day research? We'll have a look at this clip from last night.
Studies has really helpfully provided a human shield for him to talk about some of his favourite topics: hating on migrants, by arguing that Palestinian refugees are a threat to Jews, just generally hating on Muslims, protecting everyday Aussies from left-wing anti-war protesters, and of course bolstering support for Israel as it commits a genocide. His party no longer needs to defend the right to be bigots because Dutton's Jew can do this for him.
Dutton's Jew. That is what that slideshow is called. That is their Australia Day research with taxpayer dollars. an open conference under the guise of anti-racism, promoting anti-Jewish propaganda and making a mockery of anti-Semitism at our universities. And this is just not an attack on Jews. This is an attack on all of us. Again, it's an assault on the West by people who hate this country and hate our values. And that assault is set to continue on Sunday, with tens of thousands of protesters planning to take over Melbourne's CBD to protest against Australia Day and in support of free Palestine. And they want to do it outside the Australian Open, targeting the men's singles final to make a mockery of this country on the world stage. I mean, how is this actually going to play out in the middle of the tennis? Unbelievable. This is not the Australia we know and love. It's sinister. And that's why I think that this Australia Day is different. Sure, the polls say we want to celebrate. Fantastic. We do want to celebrate, as we should be celebrating. But the undertones of hate remain because it's been allowed to fester. And we, the people of good faith, have had an absolute gutful of this utter nonsense by these lunatics, week in, week out, trying to destroy this country. But we won't let them. And I would say to those who loathe this country, if you're not proud to be here, leave, go. The door is open. Stop treating us with utter contempt. Because I really, really hope that one day we could go back to these humble moments. I am, you are, we are Australian. How simple is that? And nothing should ever take that away. But it's going to take strong leadership like we are seeing in the United States. It is time to put Australia first.